Hi guys, I'm Chanel and I'm here with the love doctor, or rather the love biologist, Mrs. Dr. Maslar?
Dawn Maslar, yes.
Dawn Maslar, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. So I guess we'll get started. What exactly is your job title and how would you describe it to someone? Because it says love biologist. So what exactly does that mean?
Well, I'm a biologist, and I was a biology professor for a number of years, and I started researching love on a scientific level because I really wanted to understand how love worked. So I wrote a book, and I do these type of stage shows, and that's kind of what my job is right now. I also do coaching and those type of things.
Oh, so relationship coaching.
Yes.
Fantastic. Okay, so I guess you kind of answered this, but where does your fascination with love come from? Like, was it from a bad experience? Was it from helping someone else?
I was a biology professor during the day, and I had a crush on a bad boy biker in the band. So I'm following the band around at night while I'm trying to teach during the day, and it was a terrible disaster, and he ended up asking somebody else to marry him.
Oh.
And after I had my heart broken a couple times, it wasn't just the first guy, it was the second and third guy, I realized something's happening, something's wrong with me. And my first book was called The Broken Picker Fixer, where I was attracted to the wrong men. And when I started after I wrote that book, I started doing groups of other women, and the same questions came up. How does love work? What are the rules? How long do you wait to have sex? All these type of things, and I wanted to know the truth, but I wanted to know it not on an anecdotal basis. I wanted to know the facts based on science. So I hit the research library, and I spent the last 5 years piecing together how love works.
That's really fascinating. So I was going to ask something like that. I was going to ask, so many people have an opinion on love. Everyone with the internet, they're sharing their opinions, but love is really, there's different ways to handle it. So why do people listen to you? Is it because of the science? Do you offer a different perspective because it's from a scientific perspective? Why do you think your opinion is the most important opinion?
Well, because my opinion's not opinion at all. It's based on research. So that's what makes the big difference. I can tell you what causes attraction, how you fall in love, what happens to your brain when you fall in love, and how to have long-term love. And I think those are the those are the questions that most people have.
Absolutely. You answered a lot of my questions today. How has this advice been applied to your own life? Like, doing this research, have you applied it to yourself? Do you practice what you preach?
I do, and I also experiment on him. And this morning he was a little upset because he's starting to realize how much experimentation I do. So one of the things I do in my show is I have a wig that's infused with human copulins. So as I was getting ready today, I ran up to him and I said, "Here, take a sniff." And he's like, "Don't do that to me. I know what you're doing. You're trying to get me all excited." And I'm like, "But it's Valentine's Day, so."
Aw.
And he's like, "I know you're spraying stuff on my pillow," which I did actually spray a little oxytocin to keep them connected, but that's a whole other thing. So yes, I kind of use little scientific tricks on my own relationship.
You have to give me some of that oxytocin. I think that'd be very helpful in my life as well. That's amazing. That's amazing. So a couple more questions. What is a typical day like for you? Because when I called you this morning, you said that you just did a radio interview. So what do you do on a daily basis? Is Valentine's Day more crazy for you?
Yeah, this is my time of the year. So this morning yesterday I had a couple of radio interviews. This morning I had a radio interview. Then I came to Broward College to do the show. And then tomorrow I'm going to jump on a plane and go to Nashville to do the Nashville Today show. Wow. Then I come back from that on Thursday, and then I jump in the car probably to go to Orlando because I think I'm going to be on Orlando in the morning show. And then Saturday I do the Orlando Science Center show.
Wow.
So that's my week this week. It will slow down after Thanksgiving, after Valentine's Day, but this is the time of the year for me.
Wow, so you're just bouncing all over the place. So with this hectic schedule, how do you find time to do more research, or are you, because I guess this is something that you're pursuing for life. You're always in search of more knowledge. You can never know everything. So how do you find time to research things when you're always talking about your findings?
Well, it slowed down. The research slowed down a little bit, but I actually did a scientific study in the end of January. I was doing a study about testosterone level and relationship status, and I was taking samples. I'm like going over to campus, taking samples, and then submitting them into the lab. So I still have to call those guys and tell them what their samples were. But I find the time in between. You know, I'm doing the interviews during the day and the research. I'm running around at night.
Wow, very, very, very busy woman. Very amazing how you can handle all of this. One last question. You
I'm
kind of
sleep
answered
in March.
it.
All of March, I'm going to sleep.
There you go. That's your spring break. You sleep it off. So one more question. Are there any projects or experiments on the horizon? Like, what is next for the Love Biologist?
Well, I'm working on a type of test, which it can tell. It's kind of a commitment test. So it may be a biochemical test to determine commitment level.
So there you have like a scientific formula to see how much people are actually committed to each other?
It's actually for men to see if a guy is committed. We filed the patent in December.
Mm-hmm.
So stay tuned. You may hear more about this coming up, but it's kind of exciting. It's an exciting experiment.
It's very
or not
exciting.
experiment, it's an exciting product potentially.
Yeah, if that works, that just might change the way that how honest guys can be and how you can change love. That's really fascinating.
Well, it can also show that he truly loves you.
Or if he doesn't. So, whoops. Just give us, how do we follow you? How do we, because you're always doing all these things, so just tell us, how can we contact you? Do you have a website, a Twitter handle?
Yes, my website is dawnmaslar.com, DAWNMASLAR. You can follow me on Facebook at Dawn Maslar. You can follow me on Pinterest at Dawn Maslar, Twitter, Dawn Maslar, Instagram, Dawn Maslar. I'm on all of those, and I would love to connect with you.
Perfect. Well, thank you for being here for this interview. It was a pleasure talking to you today.
Thank you for asking me. Oh, okay. Oh, we need the.
So how that works, they were just filming our faces looking at each other, that's why we couldn't look at each other?
Well, it's a better shot when you're looking at the camera than when you see the side of the face.
Oh, okay.
Okay. You came up and said you want.
Awkward, but it looks right on camera. It looks right on film.
Yeah, I'm a journalist, so it's good and just
I think you're gonna do the testimonial? Thank you.
Thank you.
I do have personal questions, but I have your email now, so.
Okay, we need to come over here now. I'm just getting out of the shot. No, her. You're gonna stay over there. The testimonial.
Where do you want it, Linda?
I'm gonna hide from the testimonial.
What's your name? Jamal. What?
No, don't be nervous. This is fun. A little this way, because otherwise you got the white in the door there.
I think I need a platform. I'm kidding.
I would still come a little more this way.
You think?
Wait, let me center this just a little bit. Perfect shot.
Good?
Don't shade your face with it. Up a little bit. That's better.
You grew up with a father, with a brother, so that makes it a little bit probably more difficult.
Ready?
So it's.
We have just finished our live stream and our record of Dawn Maslar, The Science of Love at Broward College North Campus. And I just wanted to give you a brief glimpse from a testimonial from Jamal. Jamal had one question. And 10 questions later, Jamal says, wait, I've got one more. So what inspired you so much to be here?
Well, she was very direct with everything. Like every question I asked was very head on, and it was just the answer I was actually looking for. So it was very like informative. It was helpful. It was great. Like just the energy and like everything was awesome. Her diagram with the brain, everything was perfect. So I was like, I just need more. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the substance was awesome.
So what brought you here? Who said, or what publication did you see, or who got you here?
Oh, I'm a part of like Broward College Student Life team. So I seen the ads everywhere on our marquees and stuff. So I was like, let me just check it out. And I just, came through and I enjoyed it. Like it was awesome.
What was the one top tip you got?
when you're young, just stay focused, and you'll get, like, you'll find love, you'll find the chemistry. Um, but basically, when you're young, it just takes time. It just takes time to develop and figure out what you want and what you want in the other person as well.
Do you find that it gave you hope?
No, it definitely gave me hope. Now I'm young. I can mess up. I can do a lot of, wild, crazy things, but still, like, learn from the mess ups. You know what I mean?
There's always time to learn, and there's always more love. So if Dawn comes back in April, what would you say?
Definitely bringing people. Definitely bringing people. Yeah.
Any more questions?
No more questions. No more questions.
Thank you, Jamal. It was wonderful. All right, we had a fabulous show. Dawn had a packed audience at the Student Life Center at Broward College North Campus. The Science of Love and What It Does to Your Brain. Follow her. You can find her on Instagram. You can find her on Twitter. Instagram is Dawn Maslar. You can find her on Twitter at Dawn Maslar. The Love Biologist. Stay tuned for more. Thank you. Chanel? Yes.
Honestly,
You want the mic?
Was it dramatic?
it was so accurate just because, like, it makes sense. Like, it's like, I'm not saying you're dumb in love. It's just that, like, what you see first, it's like not what you see, like, 10 years down the road or, like, 2 days later.
Yes. Yes.
I like all of that.
Thank you.
We don't have a height problem
I'm
here.
definitely because I'm a part of the student life team.
Uh-huh.
I can definitely promote it a lot more.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, because I'll be back in April, so.
Okay.
All right, thank you so much.
Her
It's
campus
great
magazine.
meeting you. Jamal.
It's a women's magazine.
Thank you.
Written by the students, catered towards women at Broward College.
And what do you do with it? You're the editor?
I'm the president.
Okay.
Yeah, so I do all the managerial event planning, and my editor, she makes sure all the articles are published weekly, and we meet like a certain requirements because Nationals considers us like a national or an active chapter rather, as long as we post 6 articles a week. So we have to
Okay.
keep churning those out. But it's exciting, and especially because I want to be a journalist, it helps.
All right, let us know. Ready. We are recording a fabulous live stream with Dawn Maslar, Love Biologist at Broward College North Campus, and we have Chanel with us from Student Life Activities and also president of Her Life magazine on campus.
Her Campus magazine.
Her Campus magazine. So what brings you here to see Dawn?
Well, this is honestly the second time I've seen her. I was here last year. I only caught a glimpse of it, and I was single, so it didn't really mean anything to me. Now, a year later, I'm in a relationship for a year, and everything has changed, and I have so many questions, and she answered them in a very unique way.
So what did you learn?
I learned, okay, so my boyfriend is older than me, 7 years. So that kind of changes the dynamic in the relationship. And what Dawn explained to me is that, it's possible for you to be too young to be in love. And that shouldn't stop me, but it's normal for me to feel kind of uncommitted or less committed than he does. And that kind of just makes me feel okay with myself.
So will you do an article on Dawn in your magazine?
Yes, absolutely.
So tell us about your publication and why it's so important to empower women on campus.
Oh, okay, that's a good question. So I started Her Campus just because North Campus doesn't really have an outlet for women to voice their opinions on a variety of issues. And I think that's so important because in the media, women are still misunderrepresented, and it's harder for them statistically to get internships in the media than guys do. So I just wanted to offer women on campus this opportunity, and to have Dawn come in and talk to me and have this interview. It'll reach a community of women that has never been reached before, and I just think it's so important for women to find a community of like-minded people so that they can grow together.
So what message of Dawn's are you going to share in your magazine? What's the top tip?
Okay, the top tip.
Or her top message? What do you think the women who read this, the girls on campus, will be inspired by?
I think they'll be inspired to look at their relationships and not feel like they are powerless. They have a choice. There is a way that their mind works, obviously.